Ever questioned why snap judgments and overlooking critical information happen? Let's embark on a journey of self-discovery to understand the thinking process behind these quirks and gain valuable insights from Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Chapter 1: The Characters of the Story. Kahneman introduces the two systems of thinking and their respective characteristics. System 1 is quick, automatic, and prone to biases and errors. System 2, on the other hand, is slow, deliberate, and capable of critical thinking. Understanding the strengths and limitations of each system is crucial for better decision-making. Chapter 2: Attention and Effort. This chapter explores the limited capacity of our attention and the effort required for various cognitive tasks. System 2, which requires effortful thinking, can easily get depleted. Kahneman explains how cognitive ease and fluency influence our judgments. When information is presented effortlessly, we tend to accept it without much scrutiny, leading to potential biases. Chapter 3: The Lazy Controller. Kahneman delves into how System 2 is often lazy and delegates tasks to the more efficient System 1. However, this delegation can introduce biases and errors in our thinking. System 2 relies on stereotypes and heuristics provided by System 1, leading to snap judgments and inadequate assessments of complex situations. He explores the concept of priming and its impact on decision-making. Chapter 4: The Associative Machine. This chapter delves into how System 1 operates through associations, generating impressions and intuitions based on learned patterns. Kahneman explains how our minds construct coherent narratives, even with incomplete information. However, this associative thinking can introduce biases and errors. He explores various heuristics and biases rooted in associative thinking, such as the availability heuristic and the halo effect. Chapter 5: Cognitive Ease. Kahneman discusses the subjective experience of mental effort, known as cognitive ease, and its influence on our judgments. When information is presented fluently, we perceive it as more true and reliable. Conversely, effortful processing leads us to question the validity of information. Understanding the impact of cognitive ease can help us become aware of potential biases in our thinking. Chapter 6: Norms, Surprises, and Causes. In this chapter, Kahneman explores how initial information, or anchors, influences subsequent judgments. He discusses the availability heuristic, where judgments are influenced by the ease of recalling examples. Kahneman explains how our minds substitute difficult questions with simpler ones, leading to biases and errors. Base rate neglect and the conjunction fallacy are explored as well. Chapter 7: A Machine for Jumping to Conclusions. Kahneman explains how System 1 often makes quick judgments and jumps to conclusions without careful deliberation. He explores the concept of representativeness, where judgments are based on the similarity to a specific prototype or stereotype. Kahneman highlights how we substitute complex questions with simpler ones, leading to biases. Base rate neglect and the conjunction fallacy are discussed further. Chapter 8: How Judgments Happen. This chapter focuses on the role of expertise in making judgments. Kahneman explains that expert intuition can provide accurate judgments within specific domains. However, it often fails in uncertain or chance-based situations. He emphasizes the effectiveness of algorithms and rules-based decision-making in such situations. Recognizing the limitations of human judgment and employing systematic approaches can improve decision-making. Chapter 9: Answering an Easier Question. Kahneman discusses how we often substitute complex questions with simpler ones that are easier to answer. He explains the discrepancy between experienced happiness and reflective evaluations of overall life satisfaction. The question of evaluating our overall well-being is substituted with the simpler question of how we feel in the present moment. Understanding this substitution process is crucial for accurate assessments of happiness and well-being. Chapter 10: The Law of Small Numbers. Humans tend to overestimate the significance of small samples and draw sweeping conclusions based on limited data. Kahneman explains the regression to the mean phenomenon, challenging our intuitive understanding of causality. Understanding statistical principles and the limitations of small samples can improve our judgments and decision-making processes. Chapter 11: Anchors. Kahneman explores how anchors, initial arbitrary numbers or values, influence subsequent judgments. Even when anchors are unrelated to the task at hand, they still impact our estimates. He presents experiments and examples to illustrate the anchoring effect in negotiations and price estimations. Kahneman explains the anchoring and adjustment process, where we start with the anchor and make adjustments to arrive at the final judgment. Chapter 12: The Science of Availability. This chapter focuses on the availability heuristic, where judgments are influenced by the ease of recalling examples. Kahneman explains how biases associated with the availability heuristic can distort our perceptions of risk and probability. He emphasizes the importance of considering the availability of information and seeking a more comprehensive view to make accurate judgments. Chapter 13: Availability, Emotion, and Risk. Emotional events, particularly vivid and memorable ones, have a stronger impact on our assessments of risk. Kahneman explains the concept of loss aversion, where losses are valued more than equivalent gains. This bias can lead to irrational decision-making. Understanding the role of emotion and its influence on risk perception is crucial for making balanced and informed decisions. Chapter 14: Tom W.'s Specialty. Kahneman presents a case study of Tom W., a financial expert, to illustrate the limitations of expert intuition. He explains that expertise is context-dependent and does not necessarily transfer across different domains. The case study highlights the importance of recognizing the limitations of expertise and embracing more systematic approaches to decision-making. Chapter 15: Linda, Less is More. Kahneman introduces the Linda problem, where people violate the rules of probability and rely on representativeness to make judgments. He explains the fallacy of ignoring base rates and relying on stereotypes, which can lead to systematic errors in judgment. Chapter 16: Causes Trump Statistics. This chapter explores how causal explanations often override statistical reasoning. Humans have a strong inclination to seek explanations and attribute causality to specific factors. Kahneman emphasizes the importance of balancing our inclination for causal explanations with a critical evaluation of statistical evidence. Chapter 17: Regression to the Mean. Kahneman explains the phenomenon of regression to the mean, where extreme events tend to be followed by more moderate ones. He illustrates this concept through examples in sports performance and medical treatments. Regression to the mean challenges our intuitive understanding of causality and underscores the importance of considering statistical principles in our interpretations. Chapter 18: Taming Intuitive Predictions. The challenges of making accurate predictions are explored in this chapter. Kahneman introduces the concept of the outside view, where general base rates and historical data are considered to enhance the accuracy of predictions. He discusses the limitations of relying solely on intuition and highlights the value of algorithms and statistical models in improving predictive accuracy. Chapter 19: The Illusion of Understanding. Kahneman highlights that our understanding of complex phenomena is often shallow and incomplete. The illusion of understanding arises from our desire for coherent narratives and explanations. Recognizing our limitations and adopting a critical mindset is crucial for avoiding the illusion of understanding and promoting deeper comprehension. Chapter 20: The Illusion of Validity. In this final chapter, Kahneman discusses how we often have unwarranted confidence in the validity and accuracy of our judgments. Flawed reasoning and limited information can lead to biases. He emphasizes the importance of recognizing our fallibility and employing systematic approaches, such as algorithms and statistical models, to improve the quality of our judgments and decision-making processes. Conclusion. Thinking fast and slow provides valuable insights into the complexities of human cognition and decision-making. By understanding the interplay between fast and slow thinking, recognizing biases, and employing systematic approaches, we can enhance our thinking abilities and make better informed decisions. The book emphasizes the importance of critical thinking, awareness of cognitive biases, and the limitations of relying solely on intuition. By incorporating these principles into our thinking processes, we can strive for more accurate and rational decision-making. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you just watched, please support us by liking and subscribing. Make sure to enable notifications so you'll be the first to know when we release new videos.